beloved fans.
じゃあ原さんに振るか。フィードバックどうだったのか。
いや
I'll give this one to him.
今回は非常にみんなのフィードバックはすごくいいですね。なんでかっていうと結構今までも E3 毎年来てますけどやっぱわざわざこのデモをプレイした人が僕らのことを探しに来て、わざわざ会いに来て非常にも素晴らしいこれもっといろんな話聞かせてくれみたいな感じで来る人が多いのでちょっと今までと反応が違いますよね。
There's really overwhelming positive support. We've been to E3 many years, but just the level of excitement. We've seen people who played the game or they saw the game on stage at Microsoft press conference, and they would just come up to us personally and say, "Oh my God, I love this game. This time Tekken 7 is so hype. I can't wait for it to come out. Hurry up."
Yeah. So tell me, how do you choose your particular characters to go into these games?
どうやってキャラ選ぶのか、まあストーリーモードじゃなくて多分普通だった
全体的になロースターのことだよね。そうですね。まずはやっぱりシリーズのやっぱりゲームなので、鉄拳ってみんな人気って一言で言いますけど、実はキャラクター人気っていうのとキャラクター使用率はまたそれぞれ別なんですね、カテゴリーとしては。だからいわゆるコアなプレイヤーがよく使うキャラクターとみんながいわゆる広いオーディエンスが好むキャラクターの人気っていうのがそれぞれあるんで、その2つをちょっと分析して、もちろんその上の上位から選ぶのもあるんですけど、それ以外にもやっぱりこういうキャラが入った方がきっと初心者が面白いだろうとか、僕らセグメントを例えば男性プレイヤー女性プレイヤーって分けるとか年齢で分けるだけじゃなくて初心者とか上級者とか、もしくはあと国ごとだとかってセグメントをこういうふうに分けてそこに適したキャラクターラインナップをできるだけワールドワイドな考え方で入れていくっていうのがやり方です。
So, I guess you can say that people choose by popularity, but the meaning of popularity kind of changes depending on the segment. Whether you're an intermediate player, a beginner, the popularity even differs between regions, or even if you're a female or a male. The girl gamers like different characters often than males. So there's one vector, I guess, the actual strength of the character as the players judge it, but then also the story background of the character, what it looks like.
Yeah, because you have to tie it all in together, don't you, exactly for story mode.
Right.
Yeah. So it all has to work.
So this is just playing through again with Akuma instead of Heihachi.
I see.
And so you can see the scenario is roughly the same in this demo version, but some of the events and such are different. Okay, so yeah, I'll let it just go through the demo loop so people can get an idea of some of the gameplay.
で結構やっぱり今回はビデオで見たりストリーミングで見たりしてる人が多い中で実際の実況はマイクロソフトのブースだとかあとバンダイナムコのビジネスブースで見た人は結構驚いていてストリーミングとかで見てるあと YouTube とかそういうビデオで見てるよりも全然画面が綺麗なのでそれに結構驚いてる人が多いです。
Recently with games, it's all about the Twitch streaming or live streaming. So people watching, they say, "Oh, the game looks amazing," but they don't realize that sometimes the graphical quality is not as good on the stream as actually in person. So when people see it up close, they're even more surprised. But as you can see, the environments are, the way they're rendered, the lighting, everything is much better this time around with Unreal Engine 4. The stages are breakable. You can
You've done a really great job
and such.
That's wonderful. So is there anything you want to sort of elaborate on that we haven't already?
Well, I think the gameplay mechanics, because in the West, there's not many arcades left, and Tekken 7 isn't out in the arcades in the ones that are still around here. Mainly in Asia, Australia. You're from New Zealand, right?
New Zealand, yes.
It's there too.
Yes.
So Western gamers haven't really had a chance to play it unless they've been to some of the Wizard World events or Final Round or some of the bigger fighting game tournaments. Or Europe, there's even less.
It's more accessible, so that's great.
Right.
Yeah.
So besides the graphics, we have several new gameplay mechanics. All the characters, they're returning characters. They've been revamped with new costumes. Some of the gameplay mechanics are, for example, rage arts. So I don't know how familiar you are with Tekken. When your health goes down to a certain amount, I think from Tekken 6 we had this mechanic called rage, which gives you a little bit more power until the remaining.
And Tekken 7 has rage as well, doesn't it?
It's flashing, right? Well, this time you can choose to use it in a different way. For example, you lose your rage status, but you can do a rage attack. So what happens is there's kind of like a preset animation, kind of like a super move, where you can actually power through your opponent's hit. So if you time it right,
wow.
you can interrupt their attack, land your attack, and do these really cool animations that are different for each character.
Interacting.
Doing massive damage.
Yeah.
And one thing some people who know Tekken well know that mechanic, but there's a change we've made just recently where the less health you have, the more damage your character does. So it's even more strategic about when do I use this, because going into rage right away might not do as much damage as if you wait till a little bit later when you have less health. Also, there's another brand new mechanic called Rage Drive.
Okay.
So also when you're in rage, rather than doing that preset kind of finishing move, you can choose to do, it's more of a unique attack, like just a simple standard one that differs between characters, but it has very good offense properties. Like normally fighting games, if you get your attack blocked, it's not your turn anymore. For example, I'm just to simply explain it. But this one, you're still in advantage even if you get blocked. You can continue combos. You can keep your opponent on their toes and perhaps finish the round. So there's a lot more strategy there with the rage mechanics now.
This would be a good battle.
This is actually my character, Devil Jean, on the right. One of the Mishimas. So Jean Kazama. This is like his alternate self when he transforms. So yeah, I mean, this time we've got a lot more mechanics. Even the existing characters have brand new moves. And Akuma, for people who are seeing him the first time, he's actually had quite a lot of new moves added to his moveset.
Oh, right, yep.
So a lot of the Street Fighter fans are looking forward to him.
Oh yeah, testing him out.
And it's surprising because, you know, for example, I don't know if you Justin Wong or some of the more popular Street Fighter players, they've actually picked up the game. They said that the combos they do normally can work right away. So it's a really easy transition.
Do you see it becoming quite competitive?
We do.
Yeah? Do you have future plans for, or hopes?
We do. You know, Tekken's always been pretty popular at the EVO, the biggest tournament in the States, as well as various tournaments throughout the world. And that's not something we've had to push. It's just something naturally that happens with fighting games because it is a competitive genre itself. But even so, this is the first year we've done Wizard World. If you know that, it's kind of like a con that goes to different cities.
Oh, okay. I do not know of that one.
So we partnered up with them. Since the game's not out, we're demoing it on arcade boards. And so each stop, people can participate in the tournament. It's free to enter, so
that's good.
We're trying to open it up to a wider audience. And then at the same time, we have the standard popular fighting game tournaments like Combo Breaker, Final Round, EVO, etc. So
there's a lot of passionate people out there. They'll put a lot of time into.
Yeah, and worldwide, you know, there's various famous players from the U.S., from Korea, Japan, from all over the globe. So you can really see how Tekken is popular worldwide.
あとはだから今回そういうトーナメントとか見越して結構見てる人を意識したシステムを入れてるので、プレイしてる人も楽しいんですけど、お互いの体力がすごい減った状態でお互いのこう技がぶつかるときに、よくあるボクシングなどの、スーパースローのリプレイですよね。それがリプレイじゃなくてリアルタイムにゲームの中で、ギリギリ当たりそうになったらこうスーパースローになって、場合によっては本当にそのまま当たらないこともあったりするんですけど、KO の瞬間どっちが勝つのかっていうのを見てる人もプレイしてる側も息を飲んで見れるっていうちょっとそういうスーパースローシステムっていうのを
One main pillar of the game this time around for 7 is not only is it fun to watch, to play, but we've tried to make it more entertaining to watch because of these big tournaments. For example, the Rage Arts that I was just talking about, the super finishing move, but also, you know, Harada-san was just mentioning that there's a slowdown mechanic. So if either you or your opponent have very little health left and you're trading blows, it kind of goes into slow motion. And there's a lot of tension because you don't know which one's gonna hit.
There's a lot of satisfaction in seeing that.
Right. And I guess for people who haven't seen it, you can explain it. It's kind of like the boxing matches that you see afterwards, the replay, where they slow it down so you can see what's going on. Well, this actually happens in real time in the game when people are trading blows. So yeah, it's much more entertaining to watch on stream and in person, I think.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. I'll be streaming this game when it releases, for sure.
Really? Cool.
Yes. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play Ling Xiaoyu and see her new moves. So, do you guys have any favorite, probably been asked this a lot, favorite characters?
Favorite character.
出たみんな聞かれるんだよね。これね、下手にフェイバリットキャラクターを言うと、そのキャラをね、こう、ひいきしてるって言われるんで、あんま誤解のないように言いたいんだけど、やっぱりシリーズ通してストーリーとかキャラクター性でと僕の結構いろんな考え方を反映させてるっていう意味では、キャラクター的には平八なんですけど、でもプレイとしては最近僕はやっぱりフェンウェイっていう中国拳法のキャラクターが結構気に入ってます。
So Harada-san, he likes, this is pretty famous in the Tekken crowd, but Heihachi Mishima, because, you know, as a developer, he's been able to kind of implement or reflect a lot of himself on the character, you know, as far as how
more of a personal relation with it.
Right.
Yeah.
But as far as, you know, gameplay-wise, Feng Wei is a character that he uses a lot, you know, the Chinese Kempo. Very cheap, by the way, he plays.
Yeah.
He uses this move that sidesteps and just hits things.
Don't say that.
I think Eddie has to be the worst one.
Ah, yeah. He's not in Tekken 7 this
No,
time
he's
around.
not. Yeah.
From Brazil, we have Katarina, who's a brand new character.
Oh, okay. Yep.
But she's also been geared for people who can just pick up and play right away because she has lots of kicks that are pretty simple to execute.
Yeah.
You know, myself, like I said, I love Devil Gene. He's one of the stronger Mishimas. He's got Electric Wind, God Fist. He's got a lot of options.
Oh,
but also I like Josie, one of the new characters from the Philippines.
Oh, right.
Because she has a lot of the kickboxing moves that Bruce had. And
Okay, yeah.
I actually do Muay Thai in real life, so it's kind of cool.
Oh,
to
wow.
use the character. What about you, like Ling Xiaoyu?
So yeah, Ling Xiaoyu, I am also a big fan of Paul. I think Paul is a classic Tekken icon.
Skyscraper hair.
Yeah.
The Death Fist.
Yeah. No, he's wonderful.
See, he's actually got a
Look
new
at that
costume
punch.
this round. He's,
Yeah.
you know, you typically see him in the red, the uniform.
You
but
do.
This time, you know, people said they wanted to see something new, so this is a brand new costume for this time.
No, it looks good. It looks wonderful.
Why Xiao Yu? What?
Ling Xiaoyu,
Yeah.
I think I like how cunning she can be with her moves. She's very quick and she can counteract a lot. So that's why I like her. And I
she's
just
cute,
memorized her combos a lot.
She's very strong this time.
Yeah.
Oh, she is? Yes.
You know, the gameplay has kind of changed a bit. In Tag Tournament 2, the previous installment was kind of geared towards the hardcore, so we had longer combos and you could switch out characters and such. This time it's a little bit more focused on the back and forth on the ground between you and your opponent and the strategy behind that. So naturally some characters are going to be a lot better than perhaps they were in Tag 2. And
Oh, that's good.
she's one of them, so you're lucky.
Wicked. No, variation is really good. So with the combos, have you got more combos accessible than the previous games?
Right. Well, there's different techniques, you know, because characters have we've given even existing characters some of their new moveset, so you have more options, and just the way that the game mechanics are changed a bit. For example, there was a technique called Bound in the previous one, Tag 2, where you would hit your opponent, launch them, do some juggles, and then you'd hit them down on the ground, and they would bounce, and you would continue it. So some people felt that was a little long, and we swapped it out with a new mechanic that the community is calling Tailspin, which you hit them, and they kind of spin a little bit farther away. You can pick them up and do various things. But the relation to that and the wall breaking and the environments and such is quite different than Tag 2. So there is a lot to explore when you finally get your hands on the game. Not only, you know, that's more for your average user and also the competitive crowd, but people who just like the characters and want to see what's going on with the story can just pick it up and play the story mode, and we have a lot of stuff planned for that crowd as well.
So how do you go on designing these characters and having their backstories and matching it up with how they look?
キャラどうやってデザインしていくのか、あとストーリーどうやって作っていくか。
そうですね、キャラデザインに関しては今までもいろんなトライのやり方をやってて、やっぱり、いろんな角度からやりますね。単にデザイナーが上げてくるっていうものじゃなくて、まあ、僕からコンセプトを言うこともあるし、逆に、技ですね、そういう流派の動きを考えている人からのインスピレーションに作ることもあるし、で逆に本当デザイナーが内部のデザイナーだけじゃなくて外の有名な作家さん使ったりとか、いろんな人のアイデアを入れていく。つまり我々チーム内で結構いろんな角度からいろんなデザイン入れていく。で、まずじゃあデザインについて。
Well, from the character design perspective, there's various approaches. It's not just that the designer comes up with something and we run with it. It's, you know, could be there's an inspiration from a certain martial art, or a lot of times, like, he'll come up with a design. Like, Aliso is actually one of the characters that he came up with a concept and pitched that to the designers and had them flesh it out. And sometimes the designers have a visual concept that they want to go after, and we kind of explore from there. So there are various approaches we take.
Good.
でキャラのストーリーとかキャラのなんでしょう、キャラクターのセッティングみたいなところは、まず大きな流れとしてのキャノンストーリーっていうのはちゃんとチームで考えてはいる。で私が何年も前からこう作ってる設定っていうのを一応それには沿ってます。ただし 一個一個のキャラクターやっぱりこう魅力的にするためにはこれもチーム内でみんなで話し合って出てきたアイデアっていうのをはめ込んでいくんですけど、これが重要なのがもう結構冗談で出てきたようなアイデアだとか、パッと見た時の印象で出てきたような設定だとか、好きなものとか、この子はどういう性格しているみたいなことを、できるだけ、ちょっとフラッシュアイデアで出てきたものも入れることで、ちょっとこうライブ感のあるとか息づいたキャラクターになっていくってところもあるし、逆に取材でこの子はどういうキャラですかって聞かれた時に僕がうっかり適当に答えたこととかも正式なセッティングになっていくっていうところはあります。
There's in the story, the question is so there's various approaches to that as well. You know, sometimes there's the overarching, you know, canon storyline that that's decided, you know, very seriously. But then, you know, depending on the character and how they're involved in the various story arcs, sometimes it's just we're as a team late night, you know, designing the game and we joking around and we come up with an idea and it actually gets implemented.
Sometimes that's the best way, isn't it?
Right? And or sometimes, you know, the team as a whole, we actually have meetings and discuss what would be interesting story plots. But then actually sometimes we're in interviews just like this and Harada will just be asked by a journalist and saying I don't know or it's not decided is not very entertaining. So he'll just say something on the spot and then that becomes the story. And so I've got to keep track of what he says in the interview so that we can go home and, you know, actually mesh into the story.
Oh, that's cool. So you guys have a bit of flexibility there.
Right,
yeah.
right. So, I mean, it's in this time, there's a lot of stuff to see for the story because, you know, we always have entertaining stuff. We have very serious stuff. And people are kind of wondering. We leave the story arcs hanging quite a bit. And some people, you know, it's been, what, 7 years, I think, since Tekken 6? So they're always asking us on Twitter, what's happening with this particular character? What happened after that ending movie? Well, this time they'll be able to see it. Mostly focused on the Mishima clan, though. Because, you know, how often is it that the father and son are trying to throw each other off of cliffs or volcanoes or blowing each other up? So why are they that cutthroat? Well, I guess we'll find out. And plus, if you've seen the trailer early on, you know, from October, I think, we showed Kazumi, Hiyachi's wife. She makes her first appearance in this game, and Akuma, and they have this exchange where he says, "I'm gonna pay."